Welcome back to another CM reaction video. Today we are going to be reacting to Daniel Cormier versus Chael Sonnen. Guys, I just said Chael Onion. Crazy. Anyway, Sonnen. Sonnen. So, let's react to this. Let's get it started. Let's go. Is this the end of their friendship? Let's see.
Going these days. Let's do this.
What's up, guys? I think we'll start off with the fact that while this may be a reality TV show, it's also an athletic tournament. And I know, Chael, you spoke on this in the past as one of the toughest ones in sports. With that said, do you have to come in here with the coaching mindset of like...
So they're talking about the fight show. I think it's called The Contender or whatever it is that they do. And let's react to it.
Okay, guys, ignore the cameras. We're here to win a competition.
We'll go first. All right, so, yeah, you're there to win. And honestly, we were telling these kids yesterday, we're going through the picks, and you get excited about guys that you draft, essentially. But only one person wins this thing, right? So you just got to pick the right guy. It's not about picking every guy. You got to pick the right one because only one wins. But, you know, Chael and I were talking about this on our show, and he said, this is the hardest sporting tournament there is in the world. And I agree. And we're going to see who wins this thing. So, yes, it's a competition first.
Yeah, and coaches get a lot of credit, like just the way that this thing is presented, where it turns into a competition between he and I don't ever have to compete. Like that's the furthest thing that's it, but it's presented that way. And I will tell you the truth, which is a coach cannot help an athlete a tremendous amount in 30 days, but a coach can hurt one. I've seen that happen. I've seen coaches grind their teams up before, take their motivation away, where all the guy wants to do is get out of the house and go home. And that is the part that you're talking about that does get missed a little bit. Like they show the physical side of this and they show the
Damn, bro, they're just talking about the show, bro.
weight cut, but it's the torment. It's, you know, so many people will tell you, if you want to make it in life, you got to try, you got to show that you want it. But there's not a lot
Where is the argument thing? This is just boring.
not a lot of barriers anywhere in life where you actually have to really sacrifice and show how important this is to you. And the Ultimate Fighter is very unique for that reason.
So what's the balance here, right? Obviously, they have to go in and win fights, but they're also in a house away
Sorry, they're talking about the Ultimate Fighter.
from their families. We've had guys up here, fiance's pregnant, newborns and stuff like that. How do you as coaches kind of, when they have those mental wobbles, keep them on track?
It's a chance of a lifetime for these young men. And, you know, they have to almost put everything else in the box if you want to survive under these rules. And to Chael's point, I did that, right? I think this is why Chael and I are going to be good in these roles because we've done it before. The first time I did this thing, everybody got hurt because we overtrained them. Now I understand how to balance training these guys for a short period of time. While we won the fights last time, we were having to forfeit moving forward into the tournament. But yes, they are. I know they say don't compartmentalize. They say don't stick things in a box and tuck it away. I am going to tell these guys that that's what they have to do because right now you have to live for the opportunity to move forward, win fights, and try to earn a contract, or do so well that even if you don't win, the UFC goes, I remember that guy. I want to make sure that this dude's in our organization.
Yeah, and you know, one of the tricks is finding the right team, and a lot of that isn't just who's got the most skills, but
Guys, this is super boring so far.
who wants to be with you. Like there are some guys that are really going to hope that I pick them, but there's other guys here that admire and look up to Daniel. And I will just tell you, if I end up with some of the guys that were leaning towards Daniel,
This looks like a W clickbait right here. They're having zero arguments right now.
I start to lose them, I'm going to go grab Daniel. And I'm going to say, can you talk to this guy? And with a young man, It has to be another man, and that other man has to be older. That's just the way it works. But to look up to and to be able to listen to somebody, yes, if I had a guy and I was losing him through this process, particularly someone that had already been eliminated, and I got to go to DC and say, can you come talk to the guy? I will do that.
And chael and I are open to trading. We do trade. We will. You might see in this season trades where we just go, hey, Chael, I kind of can't handle this guy. You want him?
See, it's funny because you guys are obviously friends. You guys are colleagues, but you're one of the most competitive people I've ever met. I know you don't want to lose. Is there a chance that halfway through this season, it's like, this motherfucker's getting one over on me and the competition starts breeding between you two?
It's always going to be competitive. Chael and I, honestly, we've competed against each other since 1999. When I was wrestling at Oklahoma State, and I would wrestle his friend Doug Lee, and he would wrestle my friend Mark Munoz, I knew who chael Sonnen was, even if we didn't wrestle each other. I knew Mark had a busy day at the office every time. And Chael probably knew I had a busy day at the office with Doug Lee. So it's like we've been competing against each other for years.
Crazy. They're talking about competition now. Let's see if we can get an argument out of them. Come on, just say something bad about each other. Come on.
And so that won't change. And also bragging rights. We do a show together twice a week. I want to be able to go on that show at the end of this thing and go, at any moment, there's a lower third on our show that says currently off topic. I want that currently off topic to be when I'm just rubbing it in his face that I kicked his ass the entire season of Tough.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It does get very competitive, and there is a game that we both want to win. The strategies are interesting, though. I mean, ultimately, they're going to flip a coin. Whoever wins that gets first choice, but the other guy gets to pick the first matchup. Mm-hmm. If you win that matchup, you keep the power to keep picking, and that's a very powerful tool. So, I mean, it is a little bit of a debate of which do you want? Do you want first choice or do you want the first guy?
So I got to be honest. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to pitch to the producers to just, you win the coin flip, you win everything. Because why should there be a difference, right? The luck of the draw is a powerful thing. And when faith intervenes and flips the coin on your side, you get all the power. Right?
Yeah.
Or would you agree to that?
I do agree with that, yeah.
And so will you agree with the coin flip? We go to the producers and go, whoever wins the coin flip takes all the power.
No.
No?
I couldn't agree to that, no.
Okay.
That would be too powerful. I mean, that would essentially settle, no.
You're Thanos.
There's checks and balances, right? So I think that it's only fair. However, if you win the coin toss and you get the first pick, you keep that roster. If you lose the fight you predicted, now you've lost everything. So, that's interesting how he said that. I will tell you this, though. Through this process, to be a veteran of the
Guys, no arguments yet. This is actually boring.
Ultimate Fighter should be viewed in our industry so much more valuably than it is. I remember when the UFC would have 5 and 6 shows a year. And on the regional scene, if one of those guys made the poster and he was a UFC vet, that's what they would write, a UFC veteran, you'd sell the place out just based on this guy.
Yeah.
And being a UFC veteran is certainly an honor, but to come to the Ultimate Fighter, and I'm not talking about winning, I'm talking about show up on day one and don't leave early. No excuses, no illness, no injury, no I'm homesick, to make it through.
Oh, yeah.
It is such an honorable process. And you could have the right two guys. The Bonner versus Forrest fight
Crazy.
could be the very first one because the coaches don't fully know who they're putting together. And I just think that's interesting. The first time I came through, one last story, but Kelvin Gastelum was the last pick. And the guy that Dana himself thought was going to win this whole thing is who Kelvin had to fight to get into the house. Dana was right. That guy was so good that Kelvin's fight with him was the only one where they went to overtime, which means the third round. That was the hardest and closest fight that Kelvin ever had. That guy never got into the UFC. He got looked at from that moment forward as the guy that wasn't good enough to get in the house, instead of as the guy that pushed the champion further than anyone else. So, I mean, it's a very dangerous game. And in that regard, Daniel and I don't take it playfully. We will try to help these guys.
Last one from me. In the spirit of competition, you guys both fought at 205, Prime versus Prime. Which one of you would win the fight?
Okay, so here's the deal. We aren't fighting. I told this to Danny yesterday. I go, I don't want to fight anybody. Because he was making fun of us. He goes, did the GFL call you guys? I was like, they didn't even call me because they know I don't want to fight. And Chael probably turned him down. So, we're good. But I just have no desire to fight anyone. Chael and I did come up with an idea, though. And I don't know if you guys would be into this, Chael. Is it the right time that we pitch this thing?
Tell him.
Okay. So Chael and I are talking, and we're going, I have Michael Chiesa on my coaching staff. Chael has Colby Covington on his coaching staff. Why don't they just fight and Chael and I coach them? That's about as close as we would both get to going back into the octagon. So why don't those dudes just fight each other?
And to back Daniel up, I can't believe nobody's suggesting that. That's the obvious fit. Like, I don't think that Colby and Chiesa are going to get through this process without finding one another.
But imagine how much we can instigate them. Yeah. It would be awesome. Like, we could instigate those guys for 4 weeks without having to get punched. See, I would instigate Stipe, but there was always a moment that I thought, once I was like, man, he might actually hit me. Because I was messing with him so much. We don't have to worry about getting hit by each other. Like, we can make them hit each other.
Yeah, and by the way, you asked me earlier if I would agree to all the power within the coin flip. Yeah. I will agree to all the power if Colby versus Chiesa find each other. I'll agree to concede the whole process to that.
So we need to go to the big wigs right here and pitch this. Hopefully they see this and take it into consideration.
By the way, can I tell you something? He's such a gentleman. We have sparred together plenty of times. I did well with him, and that meant a lot. He was the world champion. I've never won a round with him. That's just the truth. So he comes out and covers me, and I actually really appreciate that he does that. But it doesn't hurt my ego. I was an 85. It doesn't hurt my ego that the world champion could have beat me.
He was good. Chael was good.
Speaking of that, you started touching upon your coaches. Can you guys elaborate and tell us who's going to be in your corners?
Yeah. So I got like all my guys, right? I would have had Javier Mendez, but this dude's in like Abu Dhabi, right? He kind of lives there at times. He's with Khabib and them working. So Bob Cook, who's been like my right-hand man my entire career. Rosendo Sanchez, my little boxing coach, the guy that attacked Brock Lesnar. He was about to get his ass kicked. He had no idea. He didn't get the script. Like, I talked to Brock. I said, walk in here. You push me.
I don't remember where I was when I watched him push Brock. I thought, what is he doing?
I go, dude, follow the damn script. I go, Brock, push me. So Brock shoves me. And Rosendo pushes him. And Dana grabs him. He collars him. But Rosendo Sanchez, Michael Chiesa, John Wood, who I've grown to really like, and I think he's a tremendous coach. John
Crazy, there's no arguments taking place, boys. I'm gonna have to look for an argument here.
But in jiu-jitsu, Mason was just a man. And dude, he was so strong. He wasn't that strong when I was fighting. I think when you retire, like, people, their strength is like bigger.
Mason finished Craig Jones, and there was such controversy. Largely, John Danaher had such a problem with the calling of the match.
No arguments yet. Let's see.
We'll have a better connection. I'm not opposed to doing that. With that being said, the guy needs to be big enough to go, hey, coach, I think I would do better there. I'm not going to do it for them, right? If you want to make that type of decision, you have to own it and go, coach, I think I'd do better there. But yeah, it's the relationship, the friendship.
No arguments.
Like, he wanted to hurt Michael Chiesa, bro. He's like, my brain can only, if you knock that off, you're talking about his mama. Damn. So then the guy like walk by him and shove him with his shoulder. Fight started. It was awesome.
Honestly, what do you think the odds are that Chiesa and Colby are going to pass each other twice a day, every day, and it's just going to be hot?
Well, they were like they were in the same area, but they seemed to not look at each other yesterday. Yeah, what is that? Why do people do that?
I don't know. But dude,
Crazy, bro.
Boy, I love that guy to death. But Luke. And I told Luke, I swear to God, I told Luke, I go, Luke, don't fight Mike Perry in bare knuckle fighting. I go, he's fucking crazy, dude. He's going to hurt you. Oh, it's too small. He gets punched in the face, his teeth go back, and he quit. Like, Luke made the right choice. Like, he stopped. Okay, my teeth are broken. I don't want to fight anymore.
Bro.
Glasses. Because, I mean, there's a very...
I guess there's no breakup, guys. I guess there's no breakup, guys. This is a perfect clickbait video. Perfect clickbait video.